November in Ontario's Great Lakes region can bring some unforgiving weather, with biting winds and frosty mornings signaling the end of warmer days. The once serene waters where trout rose lazily to dry flies and smallmouth bass launched themselves in an acrobatic displays now feel like a distant memory. Yet for the devoted fly angler, November holds a special kind of thrill. This is the season when migratory steelhead begin their journey towards spawning grounds, and the chance to hook one of these powerful silver bullets is enough to get any angler's heart racing. The excitement of seeing a steelhead flash beneath the surface, fighting with unmatched strength and agility, transforms the harsh conditions into an exhilarating challenge that only a true fly fisherman can appreciate. Winding through the picturesque landscapes of Simcoe County and Grey Bruce County in Ontario are two remarkable steelhead rivers, the Nottawasaga River and the Saugeen River. Both counties are famous for their charming towns and abundance of activities. In this episode, Jordan Pockett from A Perfect Drift Guide Company will be sharing his expert advice on how to target these elusive fish. With his extensive knowledge of both the rivers and steelhead, his insights will be invaluable for anyone eager to have an exciting and successful week on the water. Join me, your host Jeff Parks, along with co-host Mark Melnyk, as we embark on an unforgettable adventure chasing these silver bullets. Stick around. This episode starts right now on The New Fly Fisher.
Ooh, that's a nice sized fish.
Absolutely fantastic. That is what you're in for on this episode of The New Fly Fisher.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Bruce Gray Simcoe, always in season. Tourism Simcoe County, another reason to visit Simcoe County. Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority. Their Watches. Scientific Anglers. Trout Unlimited.
Our first day was a true reflection of a typical November in Ontario's Great Lakes region. A cold front had swept through, causing both the air and the water temperatures to drop significantly. But despite the chill, our excitement was undeterred as we made our way to the Nottawasaga River just outside of Barrie, Ontario, to meet Jordan Pockett of A Perfect Drift Guide Company. This was our first time fishing with Jordan, and his stellar reputation had already preceded him. Didn't take long before we were suited up and ready to go. I was also beyond excited to be working and fishing alongside fellow host Mark Melnyk, our first time on a boat chasing steelhead. Another highlight of the trip was being on the water with Fred Dobbs, who works with the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority to help improve the health of the Nottawasaga watershed. Fred is also a steelhead biologist, so you can bet I'll be picking his brain all week. Anticipation is up to the max. It didn't take long for us to realize we were in for an amazing day with Jordan. More importantly, we quickly saw that he was a true wealth of knowledge. I knew right then that I'd need to keep both my eyes and ears wide open all week to soak in everything he had to share.
Kind of like terminal tack.
I've seen steelhead. Yeah, that's a fish.
Nice, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Very subtle.
Yeah, try and
Yeah.
slack up a little bit. You got it. You got it.
Jeff hasn't even got his flies
I
in the
haven't even
water
got my
yet.
fly on. That's,
Oh, good fish, man.
you were going to you're sabotaging me.
Welcome to the naughty mark.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Great head shake in there, though, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good fish, man. That's a good fish.
What a start.
Half an hour from my house, 5 minutes in. Come on, darling.
Nice. Yeah. Right on. Oh, beautiful
That's a
fish.
stud. That's a big fish. What a way to start the day here on the Nottawasaga River.
What a beautiful Great Lakes steelhead to start our week. If I don't get my fly in the water soon, it's going to be a long day.
What made you decide to stop here? And obviously it was effective and we got a fish.
Yeah, it really is the current. And some of it is a little bit of, experience, time on the water. But even for somebody who hasn't been here before, there is a few key identifying factors that can really set it apart. If you look just in around us, there's really just not a lot of current. It's just really honestly flat. There's nothing really going. You might even see just a little debris or even like a little foam line coming down somewhere. But even though it's flat and it's calm, it doesn't have that little tiny bit of swirl. That little swirl just means that there's going to be a little bit more current and a little bit more oxygen. And even though there's not much else to hold it, it's all that it needs. All the way for a couple kilometers downriver and all the way a couple kilometers upriver, especially with the low water right now, for the conditions that we have in the season, there is not a lot of oxygen that's present. And when they're trying to travel up through this section of river and they're coming through all these, sometimes shallower or deeper sand flats with no oxygen present, this is enough bit of current and it's enough oxygen for them to stop and take a break.
Stop and take a breath.
This river has a slower flow than most rivers. Hard to read than a fast-moving current. As always, with steelhead fishing, you must be on the move to find these migratory fish. With that, we moved on to another of the many holding spots on the Nottawasaga. This year, water levels are exceptionally low, which has pushed the fish into different areas, making it much harder to pinpoint their resting spots on the river. To adapt, Jordan set us up in a new pool further downstream. Does hooking and fighting a fish disturb a pool? These two swift-moving fish certainly suggest that it does. With a couple steelhead under our belt, and I'm using the word "our" very loosely, we moved on through the slow meandering river. But not all of this river is flat and slow. There are many pockets of fast water to enjoy. As we hopped out of the boat, we realized how cold the water was. Good chance to talk to Jordan about flies and such.
Well, you can feel the coldness of the water.
And it's been cold all season long.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why even without that rain coming up through the middle of October, those -2 mornings and just the river in general, it's got a very cold threshold, I would say.
So we can use two flies here. So there's no rule at all that you just have to have one.
No.
Gotcha. And so how are you going to attach that? Because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just put it on the shank.
Yeah.
So how you wanted to put it on the eye?
Yeah. So when I'm connecting a bottom fly to a top fly, like you said there, Jeff, a lot of the time people will just take it off the eye there of the hook and come around and then put that other tag end off the shank. And you can do that. You'll see that if that was tied in a knot like that, everything becomes very inline. It's not too bad, but if you were to get a fish to take that as a whole and come over, I find that when it gets it in its mouth, you get a little bit more abrasion on that teeth. I do find that when I tie it off that eye to eye, you'll see that it's going to sit off the side a little bit more. Not only that, I'll just quickly do it here real quick, but when we tie that eye to eye, it's going to give this worm a very nice horizontal presentation. There is something to be said that in sometimes even slower water, having a horizontal presentation on that worm also just does give it a little bit more action, a little bit more kick on the tail. And I really do find that can be beneficial.
Okay.
So if you look at it right here, when we pull everything off and out, when that hangs there eye to eye, that worm, especially when that tail gets suspended in the water, it sits horizontally. And now
probably not going to wrap up as much also.
Exactly. And now if a fish comes in to eat this, I really do find that when they eat it, everything, all that other tippet now hangs off the side, and it's just that fly that's in the fish's mouth there in the corner. So I do find that makes it a little bit beneficial, but especially when I'm fishing those worms up high and up top, I really do find that that horizontal presentation is best. And the reason also why that I am fishing that worm off the top too is because it's going to be a little bit more of our aggressive bait or fly. It's going to be a little bit more of an attractor. It's going to give them more of an attention. And if they really, really want it because it's getting more attention, they'll pass that egg to come up for that worm.
Right, good, okay.
But with this beautiful piece of water, we surprisingly couldn't find a fish. Time to keep moving. Back to the slower water, where once again Mark proved to have the hot rod of the day. And speaking of that hot rod, Mark was using an 11.5 switch rod, which made tossing the indicator a little easier with the heavy line. I was using a 7-weight, 9-foot rod with a weight forward indicator line. Also great for indicators.
Nicely done, pal.
It's another big buck. You can see how he's got the exact same colors as the other one. That's like the strain that we're talking about. You can almost tell which fish you're gonna get at certain times of the year in here, which is really cool.
Now he's pissed.
I was gonna say.
So this one's really, look at the dorsal fin. He's got this beautiful tip of orange on the adipose. It's something interesting that I see with these fish in particular as well. So this fish right here in particular, really, really nice fish. It's a big buck, big male. Something that's really interesting about this river is that at certain times of the year, we can really almost tell which fish we're going to catch. In this river in particular, there's almost 18 to 20 different strains of particular steelhead. And to my point, they all come at different times of the year. This fish right here, it's a bit colored up. It's come in a couple weeks ago. You're going to notice some really white tips on the fins and the singular rosy cheek with a lot of really good freckly spots down the side. As we get later into the season, even when these fish get colored up in the river, they kind of don't lose, or they kind of lose that color, and they kind of just dull up. They don't really get that rosiness. They stay more silver, and that's just the difference between those strains.
Back on the move. I'm beginning to feel the pressure.
So we're at a really nice little spot here, and my co-host, Mr. Mark Melnyk, has got 3 fish so far. I've got 0, and which is fine because we're having fun. We're fishing together, but it's going to be a long ride home today if I don't get a fish, and this has got to be the spot. So I got to work this one hard. Stay tuned.
There's nothing like a bit of sunshine to lift the spirits and fuel the hope for another bite. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I could just tell as soon
Right?
As it drops.
Oh yeah, that's what I didn't even say set. I'm just like, that's a fish.
That's a fish.
Yeah, there you go. It's a hard spot to land him, Jeff. Just do the right thing.
You got her, buddy.
Right over my head with that rod tip at all times, and we should be in the clear.
Yeah, we just got to keep him out of that wood.
And that's
Nice
it.
little subtle hit on this guy. But it's a, wow.
There we go.
Awesome.
Isn't this game the best?
Isn't it though?
Gets a little quiet.
Yeah, it was just, and you know, it's just nice. The sunshine just came out. Who knows if it was just a little warmth?
And I find, especially this time of year, it's a huge factor. It really is. That just sun, it's just not just with the warmth, but the visibility, and allows them to see what they want to eat down there.
Right.
It just gives them that extra bit.
Right on, buddy. Feels nice to have a fish on.
So I can already tell this fish, going back to those strains that we were talking about, this fish is looking like the exact same as the first fish of the day, as opposed to the middle 2 fish that we got in between.
Interesting,
It's going to be silver, and it's going to not be as spotted.
Right.
The current's not pushing too heavy, but I find it's sometimes tough. Like, you see how you want to try and drop it to the net? Sometimes they just scoot. Oh yeah, we got it. We're going to get her.
Oh yeah. I've always said what a beautiful fish.
Oh yeah.
Just changed the bottom fly, And who knows if it was the bottom fly that this fish looked at and then took the squirmy wormy, but it could have been just that one change that did it. So you just changed the fly, the bottom fly on that on my rig there, and we got a fish probably within 2 drifts.
Yeah.
So do you think it was that change of that bottom fly that maybe did it, or?
Well, we changed the fly. I think it was more so the indicator depth right over here. You know, we're running a decent depth, but it's one of those things that the worm and the fly that it took was on there in the initial drifts when we got in there in the first place. So, you know, that was a standard and that didn't change. But to accommodate that depth of that second fly down there, I did end up shortening up that indicator a little bit. So what it could have done is just pulled it up off the bottom a little bit, tweak that depth, game of inches, and just giving it a second look or a different look for that fish. Couple drifts through, you see that result.
Well, it's been an amazing steelhead day here on the Nottawasaga River. Mark was on fire with the hot rod, and Mother Nature kept things interesting with a mix of sunshine and rain.
Right on, buddy.
We hooked onto some impressive steelhead, along with a few smaller shaker fish, always a good sign for the future. We're looking forward to another day tomorrow, and we couldn't be more excited. Our next morning was beautiful but extremely cold. We met up with the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority, aka NVCA crew, to walk the river and chat about this magnificent river system. Laura Wensink and Emily Phillips worked together to manage the restoration program of this great watershed. This morning, Jordan was teaching Laura and Emily how to fish for these steelhead. He is a master at handling all skill levels of fly fishers, from beginner to expert.
Have either of you fly fished before?
A little bit.
Once. Okay. So, I mean, once is better than none. How we're gonna start is just kind of come on in here, thumb over the top, and wrapping those fingers around and choking right up to the top of the cork as well. We're gonna grab that line underneath our finger like so. And that's also going to be kind of what I can call the control point. Anytime we need to add or retrieve line, we can always have that line underneath our finger. We can always strip back. And if we need to cast again, we can let go and make our cast. That first cast isn't always going to be pretty. It's kind of just to replace that cast. And then that second one can always be for accuracy and distance. When it comes to the roll cast as well, just in general, a lot of complications that I see with the cast is either people try and move too quickly and you get this really nasty whipping sound, or people are usually too slow and they lose tension, they lose power in the cast as well.
We spoke with Laura and Emily about what they do for this watershed.
I'm a river restoration technician, so it's my job to be out there on the water, helping to restore and rehabilitate some of our lakes and rivers. And we like to bring along a lot of volunteers and a lot of partners on that because we can't do it alone. The Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority is a conservation authority around the Nottawasaga River, as well as some of the smaller tributaries in near Collingwood. And our mission is to conserve, protect, and restore the lands and waters within our watershed. We're always looking for volunteers. We have hundreds of volunteers per year help us out tree planting beside creeks. We give them chest waders, they get their chest waders on, and they help us to protect some of the stream banks within the streams and rivers. And then we also partner with different conservation organizations and even different volunteer groups to really increase our capacity. The Nottawasaga River is only an hour north of Toronto. So at our volunteer events, we do get a lot of local people, but we're also getting people from coming up from Toronto to experience the beautiful watershed that we have up here. The NVCA exists to conserve, protect, and restore this watershed. And we're in a watershed that's rapidly developing and has a lot of pressures on it. However, we still have some really, really good quality aquatic habitat and terrestrial habitat here. So I think it's extremely important for us to be able to protect, restore, and rehabilitate some of these rivers so that we can keep fishing them for decades and decades. So in our watershed, 96% of the land is privately owned. So we do work with a lot of private landowners to try to help stabilize banks, increase floodplains, build wetlands, grow grasslands, all sorts of things. We even work with farmers to try to reduce some of the phosphorus levels that are going into the river. And throughout all of these actions on private lands, on public lands, we are really trying to help conserve our Nottawasaga watershed.
So there's various stages of our river restoration projects. So when we get the volunteers involved, some of the first projects that they might work on is going right into the water and helping us with stabilizing eroding banks. So that first step is to really get some natural woody material in there. So we use old Christmas trees, and we get volunteers to step into chest waders, and they get to go in the water and help us anchor those Christmas trees into the eroding banks, and that helps set a really nice foundation for the restoration work that we're going to be doing with our larger equipment and kind of the larger processes that we do. So the volunteers get to see, this really degraded habitat and really get a first step into seeing why we're doing this work and why it's so important for us to be working on these projects.
Right on.
That's a tricky spot with the twigs, Mark.
It's a shaker anyway.
That's okay. That makes it a little easier, but we'll take it nonetheless. Oh, and he took that monster worm. Yeah. Ooh.
All right, big difference between one and none.
If you hold them upside down, they tend to not do anything. Perfect. Nicely done, nicely done. The skunk is off.
The skunk is off.
At 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right? Wow.
We tried pretty much everything but the kitchen sink today, but this mighty cold snap got the best of us. With only one small fish to the net by Mark, we were reminded that steelheading can be a very frustrating game. But it is great to see the young steelhead in the system. The hard work by the NVCA is definitely paying off. But there's always tomorrow. We woke up to another chilly morning on the Nottawasaga River. Mark, Jordan, and I were eager to land a few more steelhead today before heading to our next river tomorrow, where we'll be casting flies for these silver bullets. I am truly impressed by the technical knowledge of our guide, Jordan.
So Jordan, what's your theory on fishing different lanes with your boat partner here in this run right here?
Yeah, when it's two anglers, especially fly anglers from the boat with all these fly lines, things can get tight, things can get messy. It's very important that, especially when we're starting fishing a pool, that you tackle different areas. Everyone maybe always assumes or thinks that these fish are always on that good seam on the far bank, but in reality, these fish can be anywhere from very in close to the boat all the way out to the far side, depending on what they want to sit in for the conditions that we have today. So it's important that you stay separated a little bit and work your way through the pool. And if there's a seam or a spot or a lane that does tend to be beneficial, then maybe you can double up on some casts through there. But it is very beneficial and good with the time and saving time for you to separate drifts, split some stuff up and cover some ground.
With this cold start this morning, we're going to have to listen to our guide very closely if we were to be successful today.
So this is Jordan, this is a big pool.
How the heck do you fish this? I mean, like, where's the hot spot?
Yeah, it's sometimes tough to kind of understand where the hot spots are in spots like this. One of the things that I'm looking for is structure. We got 2 nice parallel logs up against the bank here,
Right.
Off a nice ledge. And then also we got some spring creeks running in, some runoff there as well. That's providing some oxygen, as well as some cooler water and a feeding source sometimes as well. There's some riffles, some slight swirl at the top of the bank as well.
And does that small piece of water that's coming in here, does that stay cold all summer, or?
Oh yeah, and it's really what allows this river to hold a low base temp. It stays nice and cool in the summer. I mean, it does get warm down here with the slower water, but it helps those steelhead in the early part of the season to come in, even in those warmer October days. They like to come on in because that water is still staying cold.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
That's a half decent one.
Yeah.
He's not huge, but he's good. It's good enough. Oh yeah, that's better than I thought.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's better than I thought. Full sink on the indicator.
Sluggish though, eh? With that cold water?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, buddy.
Skunk is off the boat.
Right.
Nicely done.
Well, with the first fish into the net, we were feeling pretty happy. But as I said before, it is important to listen to your guide and follow his or her instructions, especially when water temps have plummeted. So we got that first fish, or Mark did, and Jordan, you were working some magic with the leader. What were you doing with that?
I just gave it a little 6-inch adjustment up. So just to fish a little bit deeper, we just raised that up the leader a little bit. We were fishing the nice drop off here, and as it kind of slopes down into the spot, it's at a certain depth, kind of about 3.5, 4 feet deep. But as we slip into the deeper part, we get about an extra 6 inches to even a foot as we go down into the spot. I see a lot of anglers, they get fixated on just getting these nice long drifts at the top of the pool, and they don't think about how the river bottom is not uniform as it goes down through the run, and it can get deeper as we go down the way as well. So it's really important to not just as you move down through a spot, but to also raise that indicator up and down as you move through that spot as well.
Awesome.
You got him.
Looks like the fish were beginning to warm up a bit. Couple smaller steelhead to the net, but that matters not. So I'm just watching you shoot this indicator out there, and you've obviously been working this for a while, and you know what you're doing. But you're doing some really cool, almost spay stuff with it. Can you explain what you're doing?
Well, when you kind of know how to utilize the rod, not just in a straight line, but kind of more as an all-round tool, you can do a lot of really nifty things with it. We can almost kind of put this rod back on an angle and give it this almost cutting C that allows us to change direction on a really nice cast as well. So when we're at the end of our drift, it's something that we can do to get a nice lot of, or to get a lot of line out there up in that direction, and paired with a nice mend after it, I can use that same line speed and that momentum to huck this nice line and that nice mend out behind it, which gets a good amount of slack out on the water to set us up for the drift with minimal effort as well.
Right, and all you're just trying to do is make sure that that indicator is just going down freely without being pulled.
Absolutely. Drag-free drift is ideally what we're looking for all the time.
With steelhead fishing, or for any fishing for that matter, hooking a fish is one thing. Little guy.
Yeah. It's
Landing them is another.
Yeah, Mark, that's another one.
Wow,
that's another
beautiful.
One. Woo. Yeah. Set. Yep. Set. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a nice one too.
That's a better one, yeah. But nevertheless, Mark again was on fire today.
He's not terrible.
Why do they always do that?
Nicely done. So it's a little bit tricky being in the back of the boat here. What you want to try and do is maybe just try and get that fish to almost kind of just take itself up, and when we feel like it's ready, we can flip it down against the current into the net. Nice.
Nice, buddy.
Nicely done, nicely done.
Took the worm.
Took that worm. Yeah, Mark's got one. There we go, there we go. That's a hot fish.
Nice.
That's a hot fish. Try and just get that head up a little bit more. Reel up a little bit, choke up.
Beautiful.
Woo, sweet.
Nicely done, nicely
buddy.
done. So we've got some cold fronts moving through, and it's made the fishing tough, especially in the morning when temps are colder. But the last couple hours of the day here, you do get that warmth of the day. And not just that, but when that sun starts to come down, the fish will start moving around and trying to cover some distance in the evening as well. And it can be a really, really good time to see some action. We just did that here as well, and we got this fish here in the net, and we're gonna let her go here now as well. As you can see, she's still got some life to her here because those temps have picked up in the evening, and she's looking to feed. Nicely done. They're just what I use as a casting target. Yes, sir, Mark.
That's your fish?
Yes,
Wow.
sir. Yes, sir. Right on the ledge. That's what we're talking about. Perfect. Just get that anchor set up.
So the whole thing is about if you're having a hard day, don't give up hope, because this is last light, and Mark here has hit about 3 fish in the last 40 minutes, and it's just been painful to watch, to be honest with you, but it's fantastic. So just stick it out right to the end, especially because this is steelheading.
There's times too in a day where you can park up on the right spot and you can catch fish every 5 minutes till that sun goes down as well, if you get the right day as well.
Right.
Yeah, this is a very beautiful fish, very colored up.
Well, for a cold day, or Mark I should say, had some great luck enticing these steelhead on this cold November day. Tomorrow promised to be cold and wet, but we were pumped as we were heading to a new river in Grey Bruce County, and we were setting up our spay gear for the steelhead and our musky sticks for a chance at a toothy predator. Bring it on. Another gray and cold day today, but Mark and I were excited to be up in Grey Bruce County on the Saugeen River, about 2 hours from the city of Toronto. This river is famous for its great runs of steelhead, as well as monster smallmouth bass, and also the elusive muskie. Today, we were pumped. Definitely chucking some big feathers and fur today. So we're at a new river here in Grey Bruce County, and what do we got going on today, buddy?
So it should be a really special day. What attracts a lot of people to this in particular river is that we can have a lot of good action on spay fishing for swinging flies for steelhead, as well as we got some really good shots at some muskie as well. So we've been coming out here a lot earlier in the season, and we see muskie just about every day. It's just a matter of hooking up and landing them, and then it should be the same thing with the steelhead too. We got a really good shot at them. We just got to make it happen.
Awesome, let's go.
Perfect, let's get it done.
Right on. So we began our days working the slow water for the elusive muskie. Listening intently to Jordan is going to be key today, a wealth of knowledge. We've had some time with this, maybe about 20 casts each, just trying to move the fly. And, we got to get this fly moving, and because that's probably what's going to get the muskie to strike. Can you show us or tell us how you want us to move this?
Yeah, absolutely. So especially coming later into the season, a bit of a slower presentation is going to be a big thing too. You know, these fish, they're eager and they're hungry, but they don't always necessarily want to move too quick either. And if something's not working, you don't be afraid to change that retrieve throughout the day too.
Right. Now, and this is different between summer and winter. Like, are they going to be a lot slower right now to the take, or?
A little bit, yeah.
Right.
So a pull and a pause is going to be kind of a term that we use that's going to describe kind of the action that we're looking for.
Pull and a pause.
Yeah, and it'll look something like this here as well. So if we just get it out there, it's nice to have this nice slow long strip, but I like to have a little bit of a flare at the end too, so that fly gets to jackknife on its side.
So this kind of motion?
Absolutely. And that pause is what's going to allow that fish to see it and T-bone that fly. They really like to hit flies or just whatever fish that they go to eat. They really like to hit it on its side, broadside, because they get to see the whole profile of what it is that
Gotcha.
they're eating.
And when you're doing that, you've got it only this much from the tip. The fly.
So
probably
when I go into the figure eight, that's a bit of another question as well. When I come into the figure eight, or even sometimes just a large circle, it's best to have that fly close to that rod tip because it's going to give you the best amount of control for circling it and giving it that most engagement, so you don't lose anything or make a hiccup when you get that fish to engage.
Okay, cool. All right, let's give that a go.
Yeah.
As for Jordan, it's imperative to work this cover as these are great ambush holding spots. This river is a great playground for the avid fly fisher. You work the slower water for the muskie, but then switch back over to steelhead once the water switches to the faster water. Right there to the left, some soft water that could...
And you'll get the dangle in that too.
You got the dangle in that?
Yep, and then you can also hang off that point and then cast down and then let it kind of dangle into that slack water too as well.
We began to work the water from either side. Mark was using a switch rod, which is a great option for this size of river. And I was using a single hand spay setup, which also works great on the Saugeen. Of course, a double hand spay rod is well suited here, but there are many options available to swing a fly here on the Saugeen. Again, Mark was using his 11.5 switch rod, and I was using a 9-foot 7-weight rod with a 270 grain intermediate spay light line. We were also using an assortment of steelhead spay flies to work the river. When it comes to swinging flies, you have to believe you will get a hookup on every drift. Be fish ready. As always, be on the move when it comes to steelhead. If one run does not produce, move to the next one. So we just came to a new run, and both sides look pretty good. So Mark's going to hit it from the river left here. I'm just going to cross and hit it from river right, and we'll see if we can see what we can do. Now I got a brown, light brown color with some gold fleck, and Mark's working with a white pattern. So, we'll see which one works here, and this run looks pretty good.
So it's a bit of a shallower run, and it does deepen out in the back a little bit, but it's a really nice holding spot, and they will like to nestle up right in those upper rocks as well. So it's something that we're probably gonna have to take a couple steps down into the run here, a little bit more down where Jeff is there. But I really like to go big belly down, nice broadside, nice broadside presentation, and a downriver meant to really get that fly to swing across up on top of those rocks. Sometimes if we slow it down a little too much, sometimes it can get caught in the rocks, and the fly gets lost.
As I mentioned before, always feel you will get a hit on each swing. You need to be ready. Hey, Sean.
Yeah, Jeff. Let him run, let him run.
That was an aggressive grab.
Nicely done, Jeff.
Yeah, I got stuck a couple times and I found that there was a couple of rocks. Come on, no. And I just, right at this one spot where I think with this big rock, it must have just been hanging right by it.
And they do. In this river in particular, they love to dig into those rocks. And it's very important to choose your sink tip wisely, because if you don't, you could be either getting too deep or too high and missing those opportunities.
Right.
Let's go hard to the right on that angle. Yeah.
Yeah, that was there's nothing better than getting a grab on a swing.
There really isn't.
No.
They hit it so hard. And the fight itself, they just do not give up.
No. Well, this is a fun way to start our day here. Come on, don't roll like that, buddy.
Yeah. Let's not rush it.
No, it's a nice silver fish, so.
Choke up a little bit. Nicely done.
All right.
Beautiful fish.
Oh, that's a beautiful fish.
Beautiful fish. Very fresh too. Probably came in with the rain a couple days ago.
Right in the old, just right on the nose right there. Wow. Wow, you gotta love these Great Lakes steelhead. You know, they do have a lot of power. Oh, there we are. I mean, and look at that fish. That's just absolutely gorgeous. And what a take on this fish. This was just unreal.
As we made our way to the next steelhead spot, we found ourselves back in muskie territory. It was one of those classic November days, a real mess of sun, clouds, and rain, all cycling through within the span of an hour. Despite the unpredictable weather, the excitement of potentially hooking an aggressive fish kept our spirits high and our bodies warm. But as any seasoned muskie fisherman knows, these fish can be one of the most stubborn we fish for. Back on the hunt for steel, this river has so many great runs to stop at. While Mark waited the run, Jordan and I stayed in the boat and swung some fishy water near the tail end of the run. And just like that, we were hooked up again.
Fish on. Whoa, a big fish. So another very aggressive hit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even though the weather's not necessarily in their favor,
right?
These fish are very, very, very grabby on this river. That's a big fish, Jeff.
Yeah,
that's a big fish.
This is a nice fish. Yikes. He's really just hunkered down too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're cold, so they don't seem to be jumping.
No, and that big cold front that we've had all this time, or all these couple days that we've been fishing. You really do see that effect on the fish.
Right. Sorry, I was trying to get him on that side, pal, but he seems to be getting a little tired now.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to work that fish up a little bit closer, but we're gonna take our time with it. He's gonna be okay.
He's got a lot of weight to him, this guy.
Oh yeah.
Looks like a big buck, I think, eh?
Yeah. Just try and go rod up, Jeff, and we're gonna try and just kind of pull him up a little bit.
Come on, buddy. Okay, I think. Let's try to bring him. Come here, buddy. All right.
Yeah, reel. Choke up. Reel more. You got him.
Got him. Oh, what a fish. Yikes. That's a big boy.
In the big muskie net, too.
It's in the bag.
Not quite the fish that we wanted.
Wow.
Nice.
Woo! Number 2 on the swing. Right on, buddy.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. Wow, this baby is probably about close to 9, maybe 10. After tonight, it's going to be about 12 pounds.
So I'm a firm believer that you don't leave fish to find fish. So we decided to stick to this long run to see if we could hit another. It just seemed fishy. Glad we stuck with this run.
Keep coming, Jeff. Keep coming to the inside. So we're going to keep that rod tip over my head as we get into the net. Beautiful.
So that's the third one on the swing today, and that's just beautiful. What a way to catch these fish.
So as we release this fish too, we're gonna put that head upriver, let her gain herself, and we're gonna make sure that she kicks out of our hands nicely. Also note that we're not wearing gloves as well. It's important to protect that protective slime, that coating on the fish as well. That glove will just completely rip it off, and it can actually create sores and rot on that tail as well.
And it's just great to have cold hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love the cold hands.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
As we made our way downriver, we worked the muskie hard. No hookups, but Mark had a close follow from one muskie near the end of our day, muskie fishing. It's a different game. But what a day we had in the mighty Saugeen. Believe me when I tell you, the food and beverages were going to be extra tasty tonight.
For those of you who value time spent outdoors, investing in reliable tools is essential to making the most of your experience in nature. A durable, affordable, and timeless wristwatch is the perfect companion for any angler. And that's exactly what Vair watches are built for. Assembled in America and backed by a guaranteed waterproof warranty, Vair watches offer the ideal balance of affordability and performance. Stay on time and focus on the moments that matter most.
Final day, and we are back on the Nottawasaga to see if we can find some of the larger steelhead that swim these waters. Another early start.
Well, Jeff, it's our final day here in southern Ontario, Grey Bruce County and Simcoe County, and I can confidently say it's been a pretty fantastic week.
What a diverse fishery we've got here, eh? I mean, we've done a lot of indicator fishing, which you've done really well at. We were lucky yesterday, got some on the swing, which I got some. So I'm kind of creeping up to you on numbers.
Yeah.
You've been fishing really, really well.
Oh, thank you.
So with the last day, let's just get out there, have some fun, see if we can find some more fish.
Yep.
A few more tech tips, and should be a great day.
Yeah, we've got good friend Fred Dobbs from the NVCA with us today, and I think he's going to school both of us.
I think so.
All right, let's go fishing.
Okay.
As we began to move downriver, I reflected on a conversation we had had with Fred Dobbs about his incredible work he has done with the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority.
We're a nonprofit conservation organization that's supported and funded by our 18 member municipalities, like, for example, the City of Barrie, Town of Collingwood, Town of Wasaga Beach, etc. We're in Esta Township right now, which is another example. And we implement programs designed to further the health of the natural resources within our watershed area of jurisdiction. And basically encompasses the area of land surrounding the Nottawasaga River. It's similar to many of the other large high-quality steelhead systems in southern Ontario, like the size of the Maitland or a little bit smaller than the Saugeen. My specialty is river restoration, and we're really fortunate in this watershed that we're building and creating with our partners what's probably the largest trout and salmon river habitat restoration project in the province. And then we're working on large blocks of farmland to keep moving that high quality water and that good trout habitat further and further down the valley into the areas where we're seeing urban development. So we're trying to get ahead of the curve by restoring more before a lot of the urban impacts occur.
People like Fred Dobbs and his crew are directly responsible for anglers like us being able to enjoy a successful day on the river.
Looks like a fishy place.
Mm-hmm. It used to be so much better. Like right off the side of the boat.
Does that mean you should have been here yesterday?
No. Yep.
Woo! Sweet! You were saying? Well, we've had a bit of a slow morning, which is not surprising with the weather we've been having. And, we fished 3 or 4 pools. This guy is going crazy. 3 or 4 pools without moving anything. We come to this deep slot. There's timber all through it, and first drift through, bobber down. We got a little steelhead on. These fish are so fun. I mean, they're just a riot, and they can get absolutely gigantic. We saw Jeff with a huge steelhead yesterday. Took him a couple 5-6 minutes to get it in, and this one is its little sister. Nice.
Well done, well done.
Better weather today, which had our hopes up for quite a few fish. Water temps were warming up.
Yep, that's a nice fish.
Slow, deep runs. You stay away from that wood, dude.
I was gonna say,
He
just
was
keep that
going-
rod open.
He was like, he thought about it.
No, you got good control on them. That's a really nice fish.
We started around 7:30 this morning.
Yeah.
It seems that as the day goes on, generally the fishing tends to get better. Do you find that on this river?
Yeah, and I mean, it depends on the time of year, really. You know, and if you get those warmer months, starting very first light can be very, very important too. As you get later into the day, they don't like those warmer temps as much. But as we start to slip into the winter, the later in the day, as it warms up, it can play a big factor, especially when we're coming out of a cold front like we are right now too, right?
So another thing that's important is I just put a drift through on that same line and didn't see anything. And Jordan recommended that I drop my rig down about 8 to 10 inches, and the next drift through, put a steelhead in the net. So
Yeah.
you got to play with your indicator on every single run, and sometimes within a run you've got to shorten it or lengthen it in order to be able to get into that strike zone where those fish are, depending on the depth and the contours of the bottom of the river. And the cool thing is that when you have a guide, they're here all the time, and they know the nuances of, oh, you're going in 3 feet further, drop that indicator down 6 inches, right? That's the expertise you get when you hire a guide on a river that you may be new to. It's brilliant. It works fantastic.
It really is a game of inches.
Yeah, game of inches.
Set. Yep. Nice,
fish,
Jeff. Nice, Jeff. Yeah, bring that rod tip low so we can kind of keep him out from underneath the boat. Nicely done. And let him run back into his hole if he wants to. We got lots of fight still in this fish.
Ooh, that's a giant.
Yeah, it's a nice fish.
The old swim under the boat trick.
Head up.
Oh, he swam right in. Oh, great fish, Jeff.
Wow, right on.
I'm very impressed with our guide, Jordan Pockett. We had a bankside chat with him that spoke about his guiding business.
We guide just for about everything that swims in a 3-hour drive from Toronto. Mostly trout and steelhead, brown trout, rainbow trout, brook trout, as well as our migratory rainbow trout as well. We guide a lot of muskie and northern pike, as well as bass as well. We take any angler out, no matter what the skill set is. We'll take anybody out who is a first timer all the way up to a very experienced angler. We have many different trips that offer different skill sets for whoever that angler may be. We definitely book up at least 4 months in advance. I would say, even giving yourself about 6 months in advance to give yourself those prime dates. It's November now, but we also have a lot of trips booked in for 2025 already. We can absolutely help you find accommodations. We don't have anything directly through us, but we can help you to hotels, Airbnbs, and anything like that that's nearby. If you're coming up to Grey Bruce County or Simcoe County, it's best to book in advance as well, because they are popular destinations and things can go quick. When it comes to our guide season, it's really just January and February that we kind of stay off the water. It allows us to catch up on our gear and tie a bunch of flies for our upcoming season. But pretty much from March all the way to early May, we're guiding steelhead. From May and onward up until the end of June, we got a lot of really good resident trout, as in brown trout, rainbow trout, and brook trout. Coming through the summer months, we switch to bass, pike, and muskie as well. And then it switches into our trout and resident trout and steelhead as we go into September and onward. And depending on the year, we also have some fantastic steelheading even into early January if the weather allows for it. We are on Instagram as well. If you want to take a look at all the fish that we catch throughout the season, it's a great way to get excited for your trip that you have booked in the future as well. So if you look at us at Perfect Drift Guide Company on Instagram, you should be able to check it out.
As we continued our float down the river, we realized how lucky we were to be in the capable hands of Jordan.
Yeah. I was just about to say bring it up. Oh no, that's a fish. Right on the tail out. Shaker?
No, it's not a shaker.
It's bigger than that.
Oh, that's a nice fish, Mark. That's a nice fish. I didn't see much of a flash there on him when he rolled at the top.
That was a good fish, man.
That was a good fish.
That was a big one.
He took you upriver on that.
That was a big one.
Even Josh, who manned the boat for our cameraman, Jeremy, was able to sneak a couple casts into a success.
That's a maiden spawning hen on her first spawning run.
The flies for the Nottawasaga River are quite simple. Egg patterns and a pink squirmy wormy work great. Of course, have an assortment of stoneflies for backup.
Jordan, I'm having trouble with slow current in front of fast current this week. Every time I put the flies in the fast current, the slow current's messing me up and I'm not getting a good drift. What can I do to fix that?
So I got this really good tool or just kind of tip that I have, and I call it an anchor mend. And you've even seen me maybe use it or talk about anchors and kind of just our drift in general, but the anchor can be something that comes from a mend as well.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this line up here like so, but when we come in for this big mend, we're gonna position it on the other side of that indicator.
The fly line on the other side of the indicator.
Yeah, either the other side or in that same current, and that will allow that anchor and that fly line to lock in place and have ourselves freedom between that anchor and our rod tip to give ourselves good position to mend downriver and also provide slack into our drift.
And that'll fix the problem of my indicator drifting into the slower water.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can I try?
Yeah. Nicely done.
Just like that.
Nicely done.
As the day was waning, we were eager to find a couple more fish. We were working the river hard.
Let him run, let him run. We're gonna be playing this one for a couple minutes here, that's for sure.
That's a good point, Jordan, is taking your time when you're fighting these fish. Hey, the water's cold.
Oh yeah, well, not just that. I mean, even in the early season, these fish are so sporadic and they're very, very energetic. And I really do find that, or what I like to tell my clients is just assess the situation. As soon as you hook set in that fish, big hook set, let it run, let it run. Nice, Jeff. Give it a big hook set and just see what the fish wants to do. Sometimes they sit and they roll, sometimes they take off like a rocket, sometimes they come up and towards you and chase it, and you got to strip in that line. So big hook set, assess the situation, and then go from there as well. There's no need to rush it. You always don't want to overplay it. So if the fish is just sitting there not do anything, you do have to put a little pressure and maybe slowly lift that rod in towards us, but because overplaying them is a big problem as well. But don't be afraid to take your time. We're gonna probably have to try and lift them up and then flip them back in the boat a little bit. You see how we're really pulling them upriver? I'd like us to change that angle and come up a little bit.
Okay.
Then she'll be really at the mercy of the current.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Reel. Choke up. Head up.
Sweet
Nice,
fish.
yeah.
As our final day wrapped up, I couldn't help but reflect on how incredible the two rivers we fished in the Great Lakes region truly are. This area is fortunate to have dedicated individuals like Fred Dobbs and his crew, along with many others working tirelessly to improve the health of these watersheds. Their efforts not only benefit anglers, but also ensure that everyone can continue to enjoy these remarkable ecosystems. What an incredible week we had searching for Ontario Great Lakes steelhead. These are what memories are made of. For more information, you can visit us at thenewflyfisher.com and our YouTube channel. And until then, keep fishing. Wow! Oh yeah!
Oh, nice. You got him.
Is that nice looking fish too, eh?
Yeah.
The new fly fisher is supported by Bruce Gray Simcoe, always in season. Tourism Simcoe County, another reason to visit Simcoe County. Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority. Vair Watches. Scientific Anglers. Trout Unlimited.